Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this week's poll question was, not including Chappelle's show, is Chappelle top 10 comedian all time to you? Maybe not even a few years ago. I fell out of him being the greatest, like, of all time for me personally, as I started to just learn more and more and find more and more. Like, bro, I just discovered who Brian Holtzman is, like, this year.
Brian Holtzman.
Fine, like, who are you stacking him up against? Or you don't even have to put it in order, but name some of your other top 10s.
For me, like, a big one was Russell Peters for me.
Damn, I didn't even see.
Yeah.
Bruh.
So
And talk about impact.
yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
I watch a lot of Russell Peters specials.
I watched every single one.
Yeah.
Red, White, and Brown, one of my favorite
Classic,
specials of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Yep.
That is absolute. Damn, bro. Crazy Eyes Killer.
That was her name?
No, that was the rapper that she was, her fiance. Crazy Eyes Killer. That episode is hilarious. Seeing Larry interact with that rapper and them having like improv scenes was crazy. But let's go back to the poll. Let's go back to the poll question. Like, no top 5 comic is anyone's current favorite comic. These new breeds, bro, they ain't breeding. These new breeds, they ain't breeding. Let's do another regular segment that we do every week on the podcast here called Poll Results. If you are new to the podcast, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, beautiful people. You too can be beautiful people. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. I always say leave a like, hit a comment. Hit the like, leave a comment, and vote on the poll questions every Monday. So on my Instagram story feed every Monday and on the community tab every Monday on YouTube, we post an interactive poll question. We leave it up for you guys to vote, and we discuss the results. You should load up the YouTube ones too, because we had like 40 votes on YouTube this week. Yeah.
Sick.
So I think I'm fine. I'm figuring out new strategies for the YouTube poll results using images and I like it was a Chappelle related question, so I think that also helped. But yeah, wait, before you get there, do this on your screen and give me the.
Yeah. Well. Okay. I'm gonna pull.
So this week's poll question, not including Chappelle's show, not including Chappelle's show, is Chappelle top 10 comedian all time to you? This question came about in a debate I was having with a friend of mine, and I never really stopped to think about it, but we were just talking about top 10s, top 5s and all that stuff. And he was just so adamant. He's like, Chappelle's not even in probably my top 20. I'm
Interesting.
like, wow, that's wild. What the fuck?
White guy, black guy?
It's a black guy.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm like, what makes you say this? And he gave a bunch of really good reasons. And the best reason he gave was don't include Chappelle's show. Is he top? And for me personally, still, I would put him top 10. 100%. But then it really made me stop and think. I'm like, okay, I'm actually a comedy historian here. I haven't really stopped to be like, of the breadth of the comedy that now at this age, do I say he's all time?
Okay, yeah.
Because yeah, of course, growing up, as I was a teenager, he was the best ever to me. Even up until like a few years ago. Maybe not even a few years ago. I fell out of him being the greatest, like, of all time for me personally, as I started to just learn more and more and find more and more. Like, bro, I just discovered who Brian Holtzman is, like, this year.
Brian Holtzman, the PFP rankings. And it's like plus 11 in the green.
But he's such a special case. Like, Brian Holtzman to me is like an Andy Kaufman type.
Yeah.
So, but not including Chappelle's show. And that really made me stop and think. But I had to go back because I feel like my homie was also being a little biased or something, you know, like, not taking into account how he felt about it back then.
Yeah.
So I was grilling him about that. I'm like, but how'd you feel about it back? He's like, I felt like this back then. His comedy specials. I can personally name a bunch of jokes from his comedy specials. The Snuffleupagus one, the Black Baby drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like from his first comedy special.
That one was funny. The bus.
The terrorists.
The one on the bus. Where
That's from his second comedy special.
Gets, yeah.
Yeah, the homeless guy. That's from his second special. But even then, the monkey fucking you know how strong a monkey's grip is? Rip your dick off and throw it in the tall grass. I love the R. Kelly bit.
Yep. That's a classic.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
You know, so there are a ton to me. And that's not even including his newer specials, which I will say, like, almost makes me have to recontextualize what those early specials were to me, because I was just not as understanding of like the dynamic of comedy. So but I have to go with what I felt back then. I can't fucking change my history or my memories. And I loved Chappelle then. I still love him now. And I think he would just make it into my top 10. But I would really have to sit here because, like, when you start to factor in Pryor, Murphy, Carlin, just those alone, Mooney, just like, and I'm really starting to like come around on like Bill Hicks and stuff. Which sounds crazy coming from me because I'm a Carlin guy. I love talking real life on stage. I love exposing, like, talking, you know, the conspiracies of life and all that shit. But for whatever reason, Bill Hicks just didn't resonate. Like, it didn't click with me until a few years ago. And he's been slowly, I'm like, yo, this guy's a mad genius. Sam Kinison, I know, is legendary. But for me personally, like, I don't know. Joan Rivers, actually. I watched a few Joan projects. She was top notch. Like, top notch. So when you start to, and like, I'm not even getting into the 90s yet. I haven't even touched like Robin Williams, Jim Carrey, fucking Patrice.
The Wayans brothers.
No, they're not.
What?
Comedians? Damon, yes. Damon.
Yeah.
You said the Wayans brothers, so it threw me off.
Okay, well, Damon, yes.
That's literally it. Who else?
I thought his brothers were pretty funny.
You think Marlon's that, like, top 10?
Well, not top 10, but
that's all I needed. That's
90s and funny.
Marlon wasn't even doing comedy in the 90s. Marlon's 2000s comedian. Okay. Yeah.
But it's all time. Sorry.
So it was all Damon. He's the 90s, comic.
Yeah.
And Damon is a fucking beast.
Yeah.
Like, beast. Damn, bro. Damn, bro. Jamie, Martin.
Yeah.
Like, it's scary when you start to really be like, yo, Chappelle might not be. Because when you're a historian about shit, you really have to factor everything in. And we're talking all time. And I almost feel like Corey's kind of tainting what Chappelle is to me.
Excuse me, Dave.
Excuse me, Dave. But yeah, Corey Holcomb is starting to really poke holes in.
Is Corey top 10 for you?
Not for me.
Okay.
Like, I always found him funny, but I would be lying if I said he was top 10 for me.
Okay.
I don't even think I know that. I've seen that one special of his. Where
the Shack.
That like was a set. I've seen a special of his.
Okay, yes.
Where he's dressed like a pastor. And that is hilarious.
That's his most recent one.
It's not.
Where he's got like the red thing on?
I mean, maybe, but it's old.
It's not old, but
it's the most recent, but that's at least 10 years old.
No, not his most recent. That's a recent one.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
I've seen a bunch of
he's definitely a lot younger. It looks like at least 10 years younger.
I don't know. I have to see.
Oh, but
either way.
I just don't know enough of his material to be like he's top 10 for me. I know the abortion joke is gangbusters, but then if I'm going Chappelle versus Corey, like, I know way more of Chappelle's catalog.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's also because I grew up with Chappelle. So, and again, when we're talking his catalog, this is why not including Chappelle's show is in there, bro. Because I feel like that does, when you remove those chips, bro, like, it heavily evens the playing field. Because Chappelle's show is what obviously made him a household name. And then people saw the comedy specials and the Snuffleupagus and all that stuff. But like, I had been watching him on Just for Laughs growing up and all that stuff. So it's like, I knew who Chappelle was. And he was always popular. Pilot Boy. But yeah, not including Chappelle's show, is Chappelle top 10 comedian all time to you? Before we get to the results, what do you vote?
I would say, yeah, he's top 10, but he's just pushing it.
So what is like the breadth of your comedy like library in your mind? Like, who are you stacking him up against? Or you don't even have to put it in order, but name some of your other top 10s.
I gotta go, like, for me, like, a big one was Russell Peters for me.
Damn, I didn't even see.
Yeah,
bruh.
So
talk about impact.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
yeah. Like,
I watched a lot of Russell Peters specials.
I watched every single one.
Yeah.
Red, White, and Brown, one of my favorite
Classic,
specials of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Yep.
That shit is absolute. Damn, bro. The Russian joke? Is it fuck? What's the one with the deaf Russian? Or was it a Russian? La, 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 fucking throwing the grenade.
Russians definitely don't go la, 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 la.
No, there was a fucking. Can you type in Russell Peters Russian joke? And also another one from that comedy special. I just had it and then I went Russian joke and I lost it. Oh, Portuguese accents. I still say that shit to this day.
Where it's like with the list.
Yo, Spanish people sound so suave and like Spanish is such a beautiful.
Hello.
Like, uno, dos, tres. But you hear in Portuguese, uno, dos, tres. It's like, bro, I still say
This one
uno,
here?
dos, tres. Russians, yes, thank you.
Are there any Russians here tonight? Russians in the house? Hey, we got a bunch of Yugoslavians. Why couldn't we have any Russians? Is there one over there? Are you? Where are you from? St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg, he's the fucking best. He knows every dialect on earth.
Yeah.
And you speak Russian, obviously? It's funny because I just recently learned how to say how are you in Russian. And I'm mad that I didn't know this before. Do you know how to say how are you in Russian, Emil? Cock dealer.
He even knows everything about every culture. Like,
Everything.
it's,
That's
Like
how you-
for me, one of the reasons is for that, like the ability
he's an
to know
encyclopedia.
every culture,
Yeah.
to know the language, the ins and outs of that particular culture. Like when I seen him, you know the Trinidad bit where he's like, "Oh, Trinidadians can make anything into a song just off of the way they talk," and then he's like, "You could have a Trinidadian in the shower with her rag, right cheek, left cheek, in a crease, like that's classic. That's classic." Or
That
like
is a classic bit.
where he's go to the African casino,
Yeah.
and then the dealer's name is exclamation mark XOBILE. Do you remember that one?
Oh, Tobile.
And he goes, "How do you say your name?" He goes, "Obile."
No,
And he's like,
Bile.
My name is pronounced Bile.
Bile. That's a classic.
Yeah.
And obviously the most iconic Russell. Like, he has so many lines that you actually forget about fucking somebody gonna get hurt or
Yeah.
bad. Like,
Yeah,
duh.
yeah. Or
yeah, Russ is easily top 10, bro.
Russ is top 5 for me.
He might have, and especially as a Canadian comic, like I really have to sit and
Yeah.
think, like, and for me, a big factor, and I don't think a lot of people do, like maybe they do, but I don't just factor in like how funny and all that shit. Influence on my life is a big factor.
Doug, I used to.
But like, just to
Yeah, go ahead.
like make this point, like I remember this argument between like Biggie and Pac.
Okay.
And like years ago between a comic, it's like between comics online and shit, and then making the argument that like Pac just had more impact on my life personally, so they just he's like, yeah, but that's not the music, that's not fucking lyrics and all that shit. But I'm like, to me that is a huge factor when we're talking about
Yeah, because if you're talking once again subjective, who's in your top 10,
yeah.
then if
Close this out.
if that has influence on you,
Yeah,
then why should that not factor in? It's my fucking life.
yeah.
You know?
Man, Russ is an absolute fucking beast. Go check out the Russell Peters interview on the channel. Also,
Hey.
absolutely blessed to have gotten to open for Russell Peters and then get to chill with him, watch some UFC in the green room.
That is
Top
highlight.
top
That's
highlight of the
tier.
comic career so far.
Watching UFC with Russell Peters shooting the shit, talking about jujitsu.
And you impressed him with your fight knowledge. That was actually one of my favorite moments. Like seeing him go like twist his neck a little bit. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker knows the fight game like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to the poll question. So you would say Russell is obviously. Do you have a female that you could?
Do I have a female?
Yeah, like to me, like Joan Rivers would be one of them. Joan Rivers, absolutely one of, if not the funniest female comedian I've ever not seen live, obviously, but
Miss Pat is pretty funny. I haven't seen a lot of her stuff, but the stuff that I have seen is funny.
Miss Pat. I know that name.
Black lady.
I know she's black.
Her name is Miss Pat.
Okay, yeah, I know Miss Pat.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Very
you know who I would put above her though? Cheryl Underwood.
I don't even know who that is.
Cheryl Underwood. Type in Cheryl right now.
SH or C?
CHERYL. Absolute. Oh, I guess it's SH. My bad. Sorry, Cheryl. Absolute
Okay, this
beast.
is
You definitely know her.
I think I've seen this one, but I don't
The
remember.
Def Comedy Jam one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's an absolute legend. I seen her from Def Comedy Jam and then on Just for Laughs growing up.
You know who?
That's the most that one right there with her holding a handbag. Iconic set.
one?
Click that.
This one?
That one right there.
She's not holding a handbag.
Yes, she is. She has a handbag on her.
Yeah, you said she's holding it.
Okay,
So I was looking for where she's holding it. It's on her arm. Sorry.
fuck. Literal fuck.
How y'all doing?
Dude, the amount of times I've watched this set as a
Let me
kid.
tell you something about Canada. I like it.
This
y'all
is
got
Canada.
some beautiful
Yeah, this is
people
Just for
here,
Laughs.
but
Yeah,
you
they
got
actually
too
used to
many
be
white
good when I was
people in
growing
the
up.
country. I'm scared. I know y'all looking at me right now going, why
You
she
know
got
who
a
she
purse
reminds
on
me
stage?
of?
Who?
Remember that one chick we saw at Vulcan?
Because white folks
The
steal.
black girl?
Any race of people that'll take land from the Indians and sure enough take $2 or $3 out your purse. So watch them.
Which one? The one that works at Mothership?
But I love
Yes.
y'all. But where the black men
She had
at?
like the afro.
Y'all
Okay.
need some more
She kinda
black
has
men
the
because only
same
black men y'all
face.
got here speak French.
That was racist.
No.
And that is not
You're lucky you're
safe.
black.
I'm
But I'm
almost
telling
black.
You,
Oh, yeah, that comment?
Because when you're single, you gotta date everybody.
All right, fuck yeah.
A breathing
Let's
man.
get back to the poll results.
Just another person that I actually used to watch quite a bit as like a black female. I used to watch a lot of Wanda Sykes.
I saw a lot of Wanda growing up. She was
She was
always
around.
on.
Yeah.
She was always on. I did find her funny, but I never found her that funny. You know where I loved her? Curb Your Enthusiasm. She crushed in Curb.
Okay.
She was in the first few seasons as his wife's best, like one of her best friends.
JB's wife?
No, his wife's in the show.
Oh.
Larry's wife.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she dated she was Crazy Eyes Killer.
That was her name?
No, that was the rapper that she was her fiance. Crazy Eyes Killer. That episode is fucking hilarious. Seeing Larry interact with that rapper and them having like improv scenes was crazy. But let's go back to the poll. Let's go back to the poll question. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this week's poll question was, not including Chappelle's show, is Chappelle top 10 comedian all time to you? Both of us say yes. And I think you can very much guess the results. 87% said yes, and 13% said no. Salutes to the brave 13% that are honest enough to be themselves online. 87%. I wonder though if they still like. I really wonder, bro, how people like take in the questions. You know, like do they really factor in the? It's exclamated. You know, like it's highlighted, not including Chappelle's show.
Yeah.
Does he still make it into your? Because how many of those memories are people just immediately hitting yes and saying he's top 10 because of Chappelle's show?
Yeah.
And I can't even front, bro. And I've said this on this podcast multiple times. Of his newer stand-up specials, my favorite one is the one where he's in the belly room of the Comedy Store, and he's just sitting down for an hour, and he's talking conspiracies. He's talking why he left. He's talking Weinstein.
He's talking the pimp.
The pimp. Yeah, that's why he
Pimp
left.
book. Yeah.
Like my absolute one of my favorite stand-up comedy specials of the past decade. Like top 5 special of the past decade. But he's like, it's special to me because of the subject matter. Because of like him breaking down the book Pimp, which I have, and like was very revelatory book for me. Him saying we have a responsibility to talk reckless. I think that was that special. Comedians have a responsibility to talk reckless. I don't want my kids growing up in a world where they don't know that they can say anything they want, or some to that effect. Just so many gems. But he was sitting on a stool, smoking a cigarette, very low energy, didn't stand up. And it wasn't really a lot of loud laughs.
No.
So again, yeah, it's one of my favorite specials of his. Probably my favorite special of his, period. But definitely the one with probably the least amount of laughs. But to me, it fucking hit a core. So that was the Instagram results. Let's see I hate that she's go this fucking way. Just go to the damn page. Yeah, so thank you to all the 42 beautiful people that voted on the community tab. It was even more of a blowout. It was 93% said for show and 70% or 7%. Yeah, 93 and 70. 7% said nah. We even had some comments if you want to click on those. He is top 10 of all time, but I don't know if he is currently anyone's favorite comic. I might say he is top 5, not top 5. No top 5 comic is anyone's current favorite comic, in my opinion. I like that. That's a good opinion.
Yeah.
Like, no top 5 comic is anyone's current favorite comic. These new breeds, bro, they ain't breeding. These new breeds, they ain't breeding. Drunken Lockwood said,
look at the first thing what he says.
What? Who?
Oh, I guess because this one's a little bit different. Oh no, it says the same thing. Not including
Chappelle Show.
Then he says easily in my top. You can't make another Chappelle Show 20 years later.
See what I mean? I wonder how people just see Chappelle. Is he top 10? Fucking yes. They don't actually stop and take in, like, what is this question really asking me, or what is it asking me to exclude? Because that's a big deal to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, easily in my top 10. Can't make another Chappelle Show 20 years later. In today's world is too damn sensitive. Chappelle Show still to this day still be having me out of my chair in tears laughing. I still like
This guy's only talking about the
Chappelle
show,
bro. I love and respect. Thank you for voting, but yeah, bro, like
next time read the question.
not including Chappelle Show. But that's this week's poll question.
This is Black Zeus, the podcast season 5.
I love y'all. Thank you for supporting. Once again, the Patreon is launched. If you do want to watch my comedy special right now, you can do so. It's only $10 and you can get it as part of the subscription fee. So like if you subscribe to the Patreon, you can get it that way, or you can just buy it outright for $10 that way. Once again, for transparency, I will release the comedy special for free on the YouTube once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So you can also just hit the subscriber button and just do that. You can support that way, whichever way you want to support. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I don't necessarily use it the way everybody else does, but I'm there if you want to find me. AKA Black Zeus is the person to find on those platforms.